What's up, everybody? Just trying to get everything straight here. What's up, everybody? Just trying to get everything situated here. We got another minute or two and I'll get started. I like that cup. That's my granddaughter's cup. Tonight's topic, TV shows and movies. Are they real or are they fake? Wait, John, I say you set your alarm. Glad to have you, Bo. You must have to get up real early. I can't go to bed this early. I guess if you got to get up real early, you got to do what you got to do. If I had to get up real early, I'd go to bed real early too, but I put in my 12 and a half today. I made my company a lot of money today, so I got tomorrow off. Oh, you watching from work? I hear you. Afternoon, boy, that must be nice. If you got it like that, take advantage of it. John said he's watching from his work on his afternoon shift. I hear you, Bo. Trust me, when I get a chance, I do the same thing. I got a list here. I had a long list. I mean, a long list, and I can't find it, but I got another list that I've had too. I've got some dadgum many notes. I got notes 3 foot tall on stuff. What's happening, David Seitler? Larry, you have it. Larry said he hasn't moved from the recliner all day long. I had to load machine today. Then I had to stay over for a 4.5 hour quality meeting. So, I know I made my company a lot of money. Well, I made that company I work for a lot of money today. Our topic today is movies, TV shows. And I'm going to get started because I think I'm going to go deer hunting in the morning. So I got to get my stuff together so I can go shoot me a deer tomorrow. David, you need some more meat? The show that I think started it all was the one and only Doomsday Preppers. Thumbs up or thumbs down. It started out as a good show. It's kind of what started the prepping craze. It started out a good show, but they got crazy, you know? I mean, they just went overboard. I'll give them a thumbs up. The show lasted 4 seasons. They had 54 shows. They even called me and want me to talk to them about coming to my house, which I didn't. I wasn't having them people come here making no fool out of me. I wasn't going to show everybody what all my stuff is. But I think that was the show that started the craze, you know. Did anybody like the show? I mean, it was a big show, but it just I think it's time come for it to end. They just went crazy on some of the stuff they were showing, you know. But I'll give, it was a good show. It was a good show. The next one on my list is the show Alone. They too sent me a email and called me. If I'd have been 10 years younger, I think I would have tried. That's a show where they put 10 people on an island somewhere, and whoever lives the longest or stays the longest wins. I think they give like $500,000. If I'd have been 10 years younger, I think I would have done it. But it just got where it's nothing but a starvation show. Whoever can starve the longest wins. They put you, where there's hardly nothing to eat. They put you by a river, you catch some fish as long as the fish is running. But once the fish stops running, unless you can like eating mice. That's about it. I mean, it's a starvation show, you know. Um, and it's still a good show. I think last season they took them to Siberia somewhere, and you know, somebody lost their flint, couldn't start a fire, and somebody hurt the ankle, and you know, and it was the fat guy wound up winning, but he had all these reserves. And he survived the starvation the longest, and two of them went crazy, I believe. They didn't stay but like 60, 70 days. But for $500,000, I think I could. One guy even ate the bark off pine trees. Could you imagine? He got clogged up. Can you imagine eating pine bark off pine trees for 2 months, a month? I mean, it's you know, I'll give the show a thumbs up, but they just it turned into a starvation. Whoever can survive starvation the longest, and I'll give it a thumbs up. What's anybody's thoughts on the show alone? Larry said Naked and Afraid. Naked and Afraid's all right. I mean, it's good. I mean, if you got to, you know, you're there naked with your partner, you know, and you know, they put them in. Majority of the time, they put them in where it's so hot. You got mosquitoes. I mean, it's a good show. I mean, I watch it every now and then. They put them in where it's 100 degrees out in the desert somewhere, or a rainforest where it's hot. Mainly it's desert though, and of course they got to boil the water and you got to kill the food, which there is more food there to eat than there is on the show alone. All you got is maybe some squirrels and rats, you know. Alone is a good show though, and like Larry said, it's Python. Yeah, Python. You got a lot to eat there on Naked and Afraid. The only problem with that show is you got things on that show that can eat you too. I know in a couple of episodes on Alone, guys had some bears. One guy, he tapped out the first night. You hear some bears moving back behind him, and they give you a bear spray. I mean, that didn't mean that's going to stop the thing, but man, start your fire. Bears can climb trees, but damn, I'd climb a tree and have, you know, or try to get a high up away from him, at least make him work before he ate me, you know. But Naked and Afraid's a good show. I'll give Naked and Afraid a thumbs up. How about the show on the Weather Channel, SOS How to Survive? That's real life things that happen to people in real life. And the guy on there just goes through and shows what they should have done and what they didn't do. And that's a good show. The guy there is real smart too. I mean he's real smart. And there's all the kind of different situations in that show. And I'll give that How to Survive on the Weather Channel. I'll give that a thumbs up because that guy's real smart. But they go back and reenact. You know, they go back and reenact what happened to people. People being left in the cars, get stuck out in the mountains somewhere in the snow, and just things like that. And I think that's a pretty good show. Another show. This really ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I like the Viking show. I mean, Vikings was kind of a battle hardcore, but that really don't fit our topic. But hey, I like the show. How about Mountain Men? I like Mountain Men show. I mean, I like Mountain Men show. Any of you guys like Mountain Men show? I mean, I like the show. That's where I like Mountain Men show. I ain't got a problem with it. That's the old guy that traps and does his furs and all that kind of stuff. Ain't that the show? Yeah, that's that show. The guy that got the dogs that chases the cougars. You know, I'll give them a thumbs up too. I like it. and I'll watch it. It's interesting. There's some interesting things that you can learn on there. Um, American Jungle. I've never watched American Jungle. I think it only lasted a year or two. Did anybody watch American Jungle? I never watched it, so I don't know what the show is. I was just scrolling down the Google list and had American Jungle on there. And did anybody watch it? I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. I never watched it, so I can't comment on American Jungle. Um, did anybody watch American Jungle? I'm You're right, John. I'm getting to that. How about Dual Survival back when Dave Canterbury and Cody London? Them two guys are, wasn't they Marine veterans or something like that? Navy SEALs. Them two guys were smart. Or smart. I mean, hell, if I was stranded somewhere, they're two guys I'd want to be with. I mean, they know their stuff. You know, they'd put them on an island somewhere, right? And they'd give them a knife, and that's about it. But they always come to find. They'd find a Coca-Cola bottle that they could use, and they'd find something that always something that had washed up on the beach. So it just seems like maybe some of this was edited. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just coincidence. They always happen to find some of the things that they really, really needed. Like an airplane, old airplane had crashed, and they went in and got some stuff out of the airplane. Now, wouldn't you think they'd have went ahead and put them somewhere where that wasn't there to begin with? I mean, to me, it just seemed like that was edited some. Yeah, John said they train survival and survival courses. I mean, they good. Like I said, they Navy Marines, Navy SEALs, and if I was them's two I'd want to be with. You know, and the other one too. A lot of people don't like, and that's that Bear Grylls. Whether you like him or not, I've seen him eat things that would make a billy goat puke. I mean, that's from Rambo, right? Bear knows his stuff too. They always drop him off on a mountain somewhere, and sometimes he has one of a movie stars or superstar with him. But he knows Bear knows his stuff. I mean, whether you like him or not, he's a smart character, and I ain't got anything against Bear Grylls. I like the show. It just seems like that show too, though. They know where they're gonna put him. He knows what he's got ahead of him. But I guess that's a good thing. But he gets through it. He makes rope, and he does whatever he does to get by. But he normally takes 2 or 3 days or 2 days, spend the night 1 or 2 days, and it just to me seemed like it's a lot of edited in that show. I mean, did anybody else get that feeling too, or is it just me? Larry said it's too scripted. Yeah, it's too scripted. I mean, it's just, yeah, I just think it's too scripted too. Survivor Man. That's with Les Stroud. Now they'll put him on an island somewhere for like a week. Now Les Stroud knows he knows his stuff too. I think he's a Navy SEAL, sniper, Marine, whatever you want to call it, veteran. Les knows his stuff too. I mean, I'll see a good show, Survivor Man. Does anybody else like Survivor Man? I mean, I think it's a good show. Yeah, you're right. Mark said he feels that way about most of them. I'm the same way. They're just so scripted. I mean, I don't think, of course, they're not going to put some people on television and let you watch them die. So I guess they got to kind of have it edited and scripted, if you want to look at it like that. How about The Last Alaskans? Now, that's the show where, in Alaska, where it's like 5, 6, 7 families have got the rights on this preserve wildlife refuge for like 100 years, and then when their lease runs out, they lose their rights. They can only to family members. But these guys, that's a good show. I like The Last Alaskans. Um, you know, Larry said Lee was the real deal. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Les knows his stuff on Survivor Man. Yeah, he's the one that walked around. He's the one that walked around with that camera all the time. Yeah, you're right. But he always had batteries. Of course, I guess he never had them. He didn't have that big of a pack, and also where did he get his batteries? I mean, you didn't ever see him with a pack of batteries. I just think somebody was following him. That's just me. Maybe they wasn't. But anyway, back to The Last Alaskans. Did anybody ever watch The Last Alaskans? That was the show where that guy died last year. One of the guys on the show with the beard. He'd been there like 30 or 40 years, and I think he finally he starved himself to death though. But there was nothing there for him to eat. There was years ago when he first got there. But the last 2 years before he died, he starved himself, and he passed away last year, I think. And Larry said, "Don't forget about Al Bundy, who scored 4 touchdowns in one game." I hear you, Larry. I like Last Alaskans, though. I mean, it's a pretty good show. Is it you? And how about? Did I mention Yukon Men? That's the one with the guys on the Yukon River. I think that's a good show. The Yukon Men. They own that Yaqui River in Alaska. I like that show. I watch it all the time. Does anybody ever watch Yukon Men? I mean, I normally watch stuff on Geo and History. Now, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. You can get on YouTube and just watch movies and 30-minute clips all day long. Y'all ever heard of the Canadian Prepper? Y'all need to look up the Canadian Prepper. That dude, they got it going on. They're the real deal. But anyway, anybody ever watch Yukon Men? I guess not. Nope. That's a good show to watch. How about Countdown to Apocalypse? I think that show was canceled. Well, it didn't cancel. It was only for like a year. I never watched it. But you can still get on the History Channel or Nat Geo, and you can still pull these shows up. If you got the app on your phone or smart TV, you can still pull these shows up, even though a lot of them have been discontinued. So I don't have anything to say about Countdown to Apocalypse because I never saw it. Life Below Zero. A lot of people don't like that show. I like Life Below Zero. That's the one with the woman on there who's got the airport or whatever. I mean, they got 9 months of winter out there. He ain't got 3 months of summer. You got. I like Life Below Zero. You got the guy that stays out there in a little tent type house he lives out in. I think last year he started doing flying. What's the thing you can put on? Parasailing. That's a smart dude. That guy on Life Below Zero. He's a real smart guy. Who else is on that show? Does anybody ever watch Life Below Zero? I guess nobody saw Life Below Zero. That's a good show. You need to watch Life. I mean, of course, I feel a lot of it's scripted too. I tell you a show that I think is crazy. Live Free or Die. I think them a bunch of crackheads. I mean, they're out in the desert. I say desert. somewhere like, I don't know, Arizona somewhere where it's hot. And he's walking around with his love beads on, and he's got his little string on. And I just think that Live Free or Die, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I give it a thumbs down. I just think that show is just, it's too daggum scripted. I've tried to watch it, but it's just, I can't watch it. It's just stupid. How about the Alaska, the Last Frontier with the Kilchers? And them guys, see, them guys are rich. See, the Kilcher guy, the old grandfather, he came over years, from my understanding, he came over years ago and bought up all that land there and owned a bunch of land. And there's a town right down the street from them guys, the Kilchers. So Lord knows, I don't know how much land they got. They always driving cattle from here to winter grazing to summer grazing, and they out there always doing a lot of work. But the guys are smart though. They can fix about anything. Of course, he's got a junkyard. He goes and gets his stuff from. Now, how can you have a junkyard? I mean, if you're out in the wilderness like that, I mean, like I said, they were right down the street from the town. So I like watching them. I like watching the show. I mean, they live in Alaska in the winter times. That's got to be where that says something about them right there, right? But I like the Last Frontier. Anybody else watch that show? Life of Mick Dodge. Somebody mentioned Life of Mick Dodge. Now that's the guy who's in the rainforest, right? Who's got the beard, got the birds living in his beard, or something. He was just crazy to me. He lives in did he live in a tree or something? Or I watched it a few times, and it's just, was it script? I mean, was it edited? But hey, he was on TV, right? Yeah, it's scripted. You're right. It's scripted, but it's been fun to watch, though. You know. Here's the one I hate. What's the show that everybody hates? Y'all know this answer. What is the show that everybody hates? There's a show on there that everybody just hates. Actually, it started off pretty good, but they had everybody fooled. And once everybody found out about this crazy bunch, I'm giving you some hints. Once everybody found out about this crazy bunch, they were lying the whole time. Yeah, I know y'all got to know who I'm talking about. I'll give you another hint. It's a whole family of them. I think one or two of them done been in jail. They play the part during the show, and then at 5 o'clock whistle blows, and they go to the condominium or they go to the town and live. So they're not the real deal. The Alaskan bush people. The good guy with the long beard and what, three or four boys. The guy that howls all the time. The guy that runs, and the two daughters, and yeah, John, the Alaskan bush people. That's, like I said, it started off, I thought it was going to be a good show. But it's just nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. There's people, like I say, the 5 o'clock whistle blows off, they go to the other house. You know, of course, they supposedly built that house in the woods there to supposedly live out of. Did they build it? I don't think they built it. I'm just, I'm giving them a thumbs down. I'm sorry. That's just me. Edge of Alaska. I wrote that down and I can't remember it. I've got so many shows on my mind. Anybody ever seen Edge of Alaska? Now I know what it is. That's the guy. in McCarthy, Alaska, Sin City. It used to be years ago. It was a copper tin ore town or something, and after the mine went down, the town run to nothing. And I think it still got 30, 40 people living in it. And then one of the guys on the show was going to open the mine back up and bring. Then they started scripting this thing. He was going to open the mine back up and bring people in and start charging for admission. And owns a hotel there, and he started feuding with the members of the town, and it just got where it was too fake. I mean, I thought it was going to be a good show, but it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I'm sorry. Ultimate Survival, Alaska. That's the one that's got the teams, like 4 or 5 teams. Each team's got 3 or 4 members, and they run these different legs. They might be in somewhere where it's cold, of course. They'll do the bike run. Then they might have to swim across the lake. Then they might have to hike 10 miles. Then they might have to do something else. I've only watched it a couple of times, so I can't give judgment on Ultimate Survival. It's more of an endurance than anything else, which hell, I couldn't make it, you know. And these guys are professionals too, though, so it ain't like they're picking people up off the street or like you and I going out there trying to do it. This is what these people do. So, yeah, they should make it, you know. If that's what you do all the time, then you should make it. You should win. Your team should win. Like I said, that one's called Ultimate Survival. That's all the TV shows I got. Does anybody have any other TV shows? Now, I got a list of movies here. We could go all day long with movies. There's so many movies out there. Here's one list. One list of movies I got. The Big Sky. Anybody seen The Big Sky? I don't think I have. If you got a pen and paper, write these down. But John asked, am I trying to tell everybody something? I seem to have Alaska in my mind. Well, that's just the last frontier, you know, Alaska. So that's where the majority of the shows seem to be, in Alaska. Larry said the Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah, we all used to watch that. But here's some movies right here. I'm going to run down the list. A lot of them I have not seen. The Big Sky. And I wrote these down for a reason, because I saw them somewhere. So I said, well, one day I'm going to watch these movies. So when I retire, when I'm in my recliner like Larry does every day, I'm going to type these movies in and I'm going to watch them. The Big Sky. Across the Wide Missouri. Don't know a thing about Across the Wide Missouri. The Trap. Don't know a thing about that. Here's one everybody knows, Mountain Man Grizzly Adams. I think everybody's seen that one, right? David said, no, I don't know a thing. I've never watched Brokeback Mountain, so I can't tell you a thing about Brokeback Mountain, all right? I think them people are, so I ain't got nothing to do with, you know, no comment on Brokeback Mountain. Like I said, Mountain Man, Grizzly Adams, Revenant. That's the one with, what's his name in it? Leonardo. That was a good movie. I mean, I thought it was a good movie. I know everybody's watched it, right? I mean, I thought it was a good movie, and it's based off of a true story too. So, and here's something I found out about a week ago. I made shared a comment from another guy, and he had wrote up a big article. Y'all need to go back and look this thing up, but this is you want to read something interesting, and this is true. Jeremiah Johnson. Like I said, I copied an article written from a guy, and I put it on my Facebook page here a couple of weeks ago. But Jeremiah Johnson was the real deal. This guy, when they he in this letter here, it tells all about him, about how they captured him, and they went to his house. They thought he was stealing from some of the trappers, so the Canadian police went there and knocked on his door and told him to come out. Of course, he told them what they could do, and they came back with more help. And finally, he shot at a bunch of them, and finally they came back. They threw a bomb or something in his hut, and he had dug down in his hut there, and they chased Jeremiah Johnson for 2 weeks. They said it was freezing cold in the Rocky Mountain. They say he crossed some peak that they didn't think he could cross, but he crossed it. They say he never lit a fire for 2 weeks. He was in the last freezing, and he never lit a fire. They were talking about the rodents and stuff he was eating. And when they captured him, they finally got him. They finally took him 2 weeks. I think they had the whole force out looking for him. But when they captured him, on that article, it shows all the list of items he had on him. He had a rifle, a big rifle. He had a .22. It showed how many cartridges he had. It's got a long list of all the little things he had. And you need to look at that. You just need to read that article. It's very interesting. I mean, that guy he was off the chain, but I'm gonna tell you that he was a real wilderness guy. But everything he had on him, he had only what he needed. He didn't have nothing he didn't need. But some of the items he had stuff rolled up in tins, pills rolled up in tin. He had salt. He had everything. He had just what he needed to survive. And it's a good article. You need to go back and look. Y'all need to go back a couple of days and look that thing up. Man in the Wilderness. I think I've seen Man in the Wilderness, but I can't remember what it is. Naked Prey. I don't recall what that one is either. My Side of the Mountain. I don't know what that one was either. Now here's one I did watch, and I think this is the name. Alone in the Wilderness. That's, if I'm not mistaken, that's where that young guy went up in to Alaska, and I don't think he told nobody where he was going. Young kid, didn't really know what he was doing. Hitchhiked. He dropped out of high school, dropped out of college or whatever, and he hitchhiked, and he wanted to go to Alaska, and he hitched his way up there, and he bought some staple supplies, and he went way out in the wilderness, and he died. He found an old school bus out there, and he was living out of the school bus, and he actually killed a big moose or something out there, but he didn't know how to preserve the meat. He thought he knew what he was doing, and all the meat spoiled, and he's basically starved himself to death. But he went and ate some berries because he didn't know his fruit. He didn't know his plants, and he ate some berries, and it got him delirious, and he got sick. So he laid in the bed he had made in that school bus, and he died. But he didn't know his plants, and he couldn't go out and get no food because he was so from the plant he ate. But like I said, he had killed a moose, but he didn't know how to preserve the meat. They said he had enough food that would have lasted him all through that winter. Anyway, a couple weeks, a month later, some hunters came through and they found his body. And now that is a site that people go to now. They hike it and they do four-wheelers to that site, where he died at. So that's a pretty good movie. Okay, where we at? I said My Side of the Mountain. Zulu. I don't know why I put Zulu. Ain't that where the natives like in Africa somewhere. There's uh, Zulu tribe or whatever. I don't know why I put that on there. Y'all help me out here. Zulu. Anyway, next movie, Alive. Now, ain't that where the airplane soccer players crashed, and then they had to go to cannibalism? Um, I think that was the movie Alive. The soccer players. I guess if I was gonna starve, I guess I could. I hate to say it, Larry, but I guess I'd have to take my knife and just shave, a piece of meat off and cook it, I guess. Hey, do what you got to do. Don't say you wouldn't do it, because you never know what you would do. Next movie, Iron Will. Ain't that about a dog? I think it is. 10 Who Dared. I don't know what 10 Who Dared is. Cold Mountain. Not Brokeback Mountain. Cold Mountain. I don't know what that one is. White Fang. That's about the dog and the kid, right? My Side of the Mountain. I don't think I've seen that one. My Side of the Mountain. If anybody knows anything about his movies, let me know, because a lot of them I have not seen. A Challenge to Be Free. Never seen that one. Bushcraft. Anybody seen Bushcraft? After Apocalypse. Have I already mentioned that one? After Apocalypse. My other one was Countdown to Apocalypse. That was a TV show. This is a movie, After Apocalypse. I think that was Bushwreck. Don't know a thing about Bushwreck. Defiance. Now, isn't Defiance the movie France, Germany, Poland, where them three guys was getting all of these POWs or whatever through the forest or whatever? I think that's what Defiance is. Into the Forest. Anybody know about Into the Forest? I don't know nothing about Into the Forest. The Dumbing Down of America. That sounds more like a... That don't sound like a movie. That sounds more like a... I don't know. The Dumbing Down of America. I don't know. Gray State. Never seen it. Gray State. The Martian. Ain't that the one with the, what's the movie star guy's name that in Mars, whatever, and he wants to live up there, and he gets stranded, and they come to protect, you find him or whatever, and somehow or another he gets rid of him or kills him or something. The Martian. Ain't that the movie? I think it is. The Hunted. The Hunted. That don't ring a bell. The Blindness. If I had to guess, I guess it got something to do with snow. The Blindness. Zombieland. Oh, there you go. A tip of the day, always shoot a zombie in the head, all right? Zombieland. I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched Zombieland because it's probably too stupid. I just thought about that. Survival Family. I don't think I've seen that movie. Omega Man. Omega. That ain't the one with Omega Man. That sounds like something with Sylvester Stallone would be in, or Omega Man. Does Omega Man ring a bell? How It Ends. How It Ends. Couldn't tell you. The Stand. The Stand. I think I might have seen that movie. Got Eli. That's the one with Denzel Washington. Now, how can somebody walk across the United States blind? Could somebody answer that to me? How could the Gray? The Gray. Yeah, the Gray. What that John said? The Gray. Was that the Gray? Was that about the fog or whatever? Or the whiteout from the snow or whatever. I think that is the movie, The Whiteout. Larry said Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston, he was in Ben-Hur, man. Said The Stand. Trigger Effect. The Trigger Effect rings a bell. Anybody remember Trigger Effect? Trigger Effect. Trigger Effect. I can't remember. Tomorrow When the War Began. Tomorrow When the War Began. I don't think I've seen that movie. The Day After. The Day After. Ain't that the movie? The movie when the kid's in the library up in New York, and his dad's got to go through the snow to get him. The Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow, wasn't it? Ain't that the movie? But that's no, it's just a suspense movie. The Edge. Now I heard The Edge is a good movie. If I'm not mistaken, I think The Edge is when, I haven't seen it. Ain't that the father and son after apocalyptic world meltdown? The father and son. I think it's a young son too. The father takes him on the road, and they got to go through all of this, to get to where they're going. I think that's The Edge. Or is it The Edge? Or is it the Run? Larry said no Omega Man. You talk about Will Smith. Will Smith was also in that movie. What's that movie Will Smith was in? And he was the only one in the town or whatever. And he had his home barricaded at nighttime. The zombies come out. Help me out here. What's the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie Will Smith was in? Come on, I know y'all remember it. Crap. And he had to find the cure for the disease or whatever, and he wound up blowing himself up with a hand grenade in his room or in the house. But he gave I Am Legend. Yep, I Am Legend. That's it. Larry, you said that was taken from Omega Man. What was Omega Man about? I can't. Oh, okay. So that movie, I Am Legend, was taken from Omega Man? I guess that's I Am Legend. Yeah, okay. That was a good movie, and Will Smith played it, that was it's a good movie. World Gone Wild. I don't think I never seen World Gone Wild. Anybody remember Girl? I didn't say Girls Gone Wild. I said World Gone Wild. Okay. That's all the movies I got. Like I said, I had 2 pages. I had printed it out, and I don't know where it's at. But this is just nothing here. It's probably the list I had 100 movies on it, and I don't know where the list is at, you know. But you can get on here on YouTube, man. There's so much stuff here on YouTube. You can just find. You got, like I said, the Canadian Prepper, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the Black Scout. There's a guy here locally. When I say locally, I think he's around Saluda, the Black Scout, and he's got a lot of followers. He's got a lot of hands-on instruction type things he does in front of the camera, and but there's a ton of stuff out there. I mean, a ton of stuff. Anybody got into movies? I don't. Like I said, I couldn't find my list. I don't know where it's at either. I just don't have it. Like I said, I had to stay over the day for a meeting, so I kind of screwed my day up trying to find my list. Guess I should have done my homework sooner. Yep, I'm gonna turn it in. I'm going to deer hunt tomorrow. Y'all wish me good luck. David, you need some deer meat? Hopefully I can get me one if my wife will let me. If I don't go tomorrow, it'll be another week, and I got to get me some deer hunting in. I got to sit in the tree. I need to get back to nature. Anyway, y'all make a comment if you want. That's all I got for tonight. It's what it's going on 11. What time is this? Going on? I don't even know what time it is. 10:30. It's going on 11 o'clock. Share, make a comment, like this video. Don't like it, really doesn't matter, you know. I know one thing: if those people cross the border, I don't think Trump's going to let them. But we may be getting ready to have a meltdown. I mean, stock market's been going down, 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 down. We got the election coming up. A lot of them want Trump out of there. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, no sense in ruining this country. Just try to get, just to tick people off or to make things worse. And they're fixing to have a showdown. And they say the Mexican police are down there and they're going to stop them. But I don't see what you going to do. You can't shoot them. They got too many women and kids in there. So we may be getting ready to have a showdown showing up on the Mexican border. And Lord, I hope not, you know. I mean, like I said, the stock market's been going down, down, down for the last 2 weeks. Everything's tied to the daggum stock market. So that's the way the government wants it. That's the way the banks want it. That's just the way it is, you know. And with the, like I said, with the election coming up, Lord knows what's going to happen. But anyway, y'all like us on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Doomsday South. Share the video, like the video. Sorry I didn't have a longer list. Of course, it would have took me another hour to read through that list. I had a long list. I mean, a long list. And I don't know where it's at. I might have to just do this again another day when I find that list. All right, y'all, have a good night. Everybody go to bed. We got a long day tomorrow. I hope everybody has a good night and a good day. Like I said, like the video, share the video. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Twitter, we're on Google+, we're on Facebook. That's enough. That's all I got time for. Follow the link in my bio. ReadyNetwork.com/Doomsday Preppers of South Carolina. We got some good items for sale on there. Just follow the link in the bio. And I had an ad on here with some knives, but somebody reported me to Facebook, and Facebook took them off. Believe that? Somebody didn't have nothing to do but to support, but to complain to Facebook about me having knives on here for sale. So Facebook took them off because somebody reported it. I guess they didn't have nothing else to do. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. We will catch y'all another day. I'm out of here. We'll see y'all. Y'all, thanks for coming, y'all. I'd like for it to be 300 or 400 people in here. We could just talk and chat and you know, just we're gonna get there though. I'm not gonna. I'm not. I've been doing this since 2012, and I'm not gonna quit. Something I enjoy doing. So hey, you only live once. This is what I enjoy doing, so I'm gonna do it. You know. Enjoy life. Yep, you're right, John. Facebook liberal censorship at its finest. Why would you complain about somebody having a knife? You got butter knives in your kitchen. You know, I mean, what do you think I'm gonna do? Take the knife and jab it through the screen here and stab somebody with it? It's crazy. This is a crazy world we live in, people. It is just, it's the people who are just, we got a lot of mentally ill people out there, you know? They just want to disrupt and they don't have nothing to do. So by golly, I'm going to disrupt. I just don't understand it, you know? Let them come up in my yard. I'll shoot them right between the eyes. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because now I guess I'm going to get banned now. But all right, guys, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. And we'll catch y'all later. Thanks for coming, y'all. All right, guys, we're going to end this here. And thanks for coming. And we'll catch y'all later. All right. I can figure out how to get this thing to stop.